Hey everyone, welcome to the Nintendo Prime podcast. This podcast, if you can't tell by the name, is mostly just about Nintendo. This is episode 1. As you saw, I'm wearing my Zelda Informer shirt because I am the editor-in-chief at Zelda Informer. However, this is not like the Zelda Informer podcast, which I also currently host. Might not in the future. I don't know what's going on. This is more of an in-person podcast. It's going to have me and my best bud, Eric. You might have seen him if you watched the Zelda Informer podcast. He was on our E3 podcast. And we always will have a third person who is voice only, talking from above, like they're God. Hopefully it'll always be Mr. Darrin.
Howdy, I thought this was a Microsoft podcast.
Microsoft podcast. Speaking of that, we are the Nintendo Prime podcast, so we are going to talk a lot of Nintendo, but we are not exclusively Nintendo, so we will talk about big news that happens all over the place, whether it's a big game, big announcements, all that stuff. But we will always make sure we talk about something Nintendo. We just didn't really want to restrict ourselves because we all know as Nintendo fans, there are times when there just isn't anything to talk about. And plus, me and him do more than just Nintendo. Just the way it is. I'm sure Darren's the same way.
Yeah, we do. Oh, yeah.
So we just like to kind of cover all of our bases. So this is more of a general gaming podcast that has a Nintendo focus. So moving forward, I won't really ever say the word Nintendo Prime podcast. It will just be the NP podcast. And then obviously people can kind of make up whatever they want from there. That's just what it's going to be called. So we don't really have any ideas on the structure for this podcast yet. We're just going to kind of go through some news, go through some topics, and just talk about it. And kind of see where things go from there. And the first topic I want to bring up, just because it's very interesting that this just happened, is that the PlayStation 4 apparently surpassed the Wii U sales in Japan, finally. The PlayStation 4 sales stand, according to the Media Create, at 3,267,243 units. The Wii U has 3,265,329. So they're up by a couple thousand. Now, obviously, the Wii U launched 2 years, or about a year and a half, before the PlayStation 4 did in Japan. So, Darrin, do you think this even matters?
Does this matter at this point? Not really. I mean, NX is launching next year. Who really cares about the Wii U at this point? It has almost no games releasing for it.
You pretty much just summarized up this entire topic.
Right? Yeah, who cares? Case closed. No one cares.
Yeah. And to kind of add fuel to this, because I've seen a lot of people talking about this, gaming consoles in general don't really matter in Japan. The fact that the Wii U, I mean, actually, given the Wii U's total sales numbers, I guess 3 million is pretty respectable in Japan. When you consider that in Japan, console gaming is kind of dead. It is all about that 3DS. It's all, even the Vita sold really, really well in Japan. So they're more of a handheld focused kind of country. And I don't have the numbers in front of me. I think the 3DS has sold over 30 million in Japan.
Because they're a handheld specific country, I mean, if NX is a hybrid device, they should do very well there, I would think.
Supposedly. So I guess we'll just kind of leave it at that. I don't know why people keep talking about this like it matters. It's like, okay, cool, the PlayStation 4, a console that is going to have a longer shelf life than the Wii U, surpassed the Wii U in a country where no one cares about either of them.
And when the Wii U is not going to be cared about in the next year anyway.
Of course.
Which is also kind of sad for Sony, though.
Oh, poor Sony.
Oh, right. Sony, I love you.
So this is something that I find really interesting because for those who don't know, I currently don't even have a Wii U in my house right now. I sold it a few weeks back for some gas money, of all things. But the one gaming console, like home console I do have in my house is I have an Xbox One S. And on the Xbox One, a little bit ago, was an emulator on the Xbox Store. Now, it has been since taken down by Microsoft themselves. But it was up long enough where a lot of people, if you wanted it and you were on the internet and found out about it, you could have gotten it. And it emulated N64 games essentially to perfection. Like, I mean, it's not really a surprise that Xbox One can run N64 games.
It's still on Windows 10, I believe, though. It's on the Microsoft Store.
Yeah, it's still on Windows 10. They only got it off Xbox Live Store. So Like, this to me is way more interesting than the PlayStation 4 outselling the Wii U, because if you were smart enough on your Xbox, could literally have been playing some of Nintendo's very best games on your Xbox One. Giving people, I guess, what a lot of people want Nintendo to do, go third party, have your games playable on other people's systems. Well, for a little while there, it was possible. That's crazy. Like, I don't even want to bring up like the Windows 10 store thing, because emulators are free. You can just download them on your PC. So whether or not it's in the Windows 10 store isn't really that relevant anymore now that it's off the Xbox version. So I'm going to throw this over to Eric, because we played a lot of N64 games.
This is my wheelhouse.
Like, this is amazing. And I kind of want to reminisce on the N64 a little bit here, because obviously we could talk about how scummy this is, how it even went through the approval process to even get up in the first place. Because remember, emulators themselves are not actually illegal, but it's very obvious what this existed for. It existed for people to play Nintendo games illegally on your Xbox.
Right.
So we're going to transition this into our top fives for the N64. Because, honestly, we could talk about emulators all day. But man, the N64
has some great games.
It did. So before we jump into that top five, quick, let's just say what our favorite memory is from the N64 era. And so let's start with Eric. So Eric, what do you got for me?
What do you mean, game specific?
Just like, when you think N64, what's the first thing that pops to your mind?
Oh, I remember when we first got it. We actually had rented it first from Blockbuster. Yeah.
Oh, Blockbuster.
Oh, man.
Blockbuster. Yeah. Going way
Console
back in the day.
renting, baby.
Way back in the day. We also rented Mario Kart.
Of course.
And I just remember opening it up and just being like, holy cow, this is awesome.
Like, 3D gaming, baby.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
Oh, it was awesome. I have a lot of memories from N64. Like, when I first hear it, I just think Conquer.
Oh, yeah.
That's all that comes to my mind. Conquer's bad for a day. There's so many other awesome games, and we're going to get into our top fives, but it's like, man, we spent so many countless stuff. In fact, Conquer is the reason we got, like, the Xbox originally. I helped, was the Xbox 360 Xbox? I helped your dad get
The 360.
The 360. Okay, so on the original Xbox, like, the fact that Conquer was coming to that and getting, like, remastered in HD, or what we thought was HD at the time. It wasn't true HD. Yeah. It was just, So nothing but N64. And plus, N64 had the best multiplayer version in Conquer.
By far. They screwed that up when they ported it to the Xbox there.
Yeah. See, they got the rest of the game right.
They did.
Why did they change the multiplayer? I have no idea. Darren, when you hear N64, the first thought in your mind?
Oh, I think of Ocarina of Time. I mean,
of course.
I'm a Zelda fan now. I mean, I gotta think of Ocarina of Time. Either that or Majora's Mask, but I usually think of Ocarina of Time. I'm, going out into Hyrule Field and then having the, that giant monster there. I can't think of his name right now. It has something to do with like, a pod. Getting like, oh, what's this? Pod. And then it just like comes out of the ground. It's like, well, bye. That's what I think of.
Nice. So let's just get right to what we feel are the top 5 games. Our lists are all going to be different. Maybe. Him and I's might be really similar. I have no idea. But, because we played a lot of N64. That was like the in-home multiplayer machine, man. So, Darren, let's start with you. What is your top 5 N64 games? You don't even have to give them an order if you don't want.
I'll give them an order.
Oh, you got an order. Here we go.
All right.
This is juicy.
So, we got, at number 5, we got Star Fox. I know it's at number 5. It's a great game, but I mean, N64 has a lot of great games.
Star Fox 64, baby.
Yeah, Star Fox 64. At number 4, we got Animal Crossing. Now, I know what you're thinking. Animal Crossing, it's a GameCube game. However, it first came out on the N64, and I have played that version, the Japan-only version. That's called Animal Force. I think it's pretty cool.
Ooh, you're one of the few.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't have a lot of differences, but whatever. Third would be Majora's Mask, an amazing Zelda game. I love that one to death. Second would be Super Mario 64. Just an amazing Mario game, brought Mario into 3D. Hasn't aged as well as the next game I'm going to say, which is obviously Ocarina of Time.
I kind of figured.
I'm sure Nate will frown at because.
No, that game sucks.
Oh man!
Very first podcast, everyone's getting ready to hate on me for hating on the current all-time number one ranked game in history of video games. So going off of that, Eric, what's your top 5? What do you got for me?
Top 5. Oh gosh,
There's so many good ones.
It's so hard to choose. I would probably say at number 5 would be the one that started all the shooters with GoldenEye.
Oh, good choice. That's a good game.
Yes.
GoldenEye.
Yes. The precursor to your Call of Duties, your Battlefields, all those games. Man, GoldenEye made it possible on consoles.
Go back and play that. It's the granddaddy of first-person shooters.
On consoles. I just want to put that because, like,
yeah.
Duke Nukem 64, there was PC stuff going on. But,
Right.
Oh, all right.
Number 4 would be Mario 64.
Mario 64. Oh, there we go.
I
was hoping someone would mention it. I know you love that game.
I mentioned it. It was my second place.
I know.
Yeah.
Sorry, Darren. I kind of shut off because you said Ocarina of Time, and I just forgot.
Right.
The anger. Anyways.
I almost had it complete, and now I don't know where it is. So it really just eating me alive.
I've actually been playing it on my Wii U on the Virtual Console, and it's been pretty fun.
Nice,
pretty fun.
Nice, yeah. This one's a tough decision for number 3. I might have to go with Mario Kart. I think is number 3.
Mario Kart, nice.
Just
Good
a
choice.
Fantastic game. And then number 2 would be Banjo-Kazooie.
Banjo-Kazooie, there it is.
Yep.
Rare LTD, baby.
Yep. Oh, it was fantastic game. Full of just fun things that you could do. The whole pooping of the eggs.
Oh, yeah.
That was funny.
Like, everyone remembers Mario 64, but Banjo-Kazooie to me was the better platformer on that system.
Yeah.
Like,
I would agree. Obviously.
no, you don't agree at all.
No. And then, of course, number 1 is, as you mentioned, Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Conker's Bad Fur Day.
The
humor in that.
The humor and the
multiplayer. Dude, the Great Mighty Pooh.
Yes, the Great Mighty Pooh.
Oh, I will never forget that
I've lost
song.
count of how many times I've used the screenshot from that game of Conker saying, "Why is everybody so offensive around here?" I love that screenshot.
Right.
Oh, man. So, my top 5, I have a question mark on my top 5 because I'm trying to remember if this game was an N64 game. Snowboard Kids.
Oh, yes, it was.
Was that? Okay,
yes,
Snowboard Kids.
Yes, it was. That's a fantastic game, too.
I used to go over to Eric's house and play Snowboard Kids nonstop with him, other friends, his sister's friends, cousins. Snowboard Kids was almost played more than Mario Kart. It was crazy how awesome, fun. And the thing is, we would always play the same map.
Yep.
And I can't figure out why, but there hasn't really been a good snowboard game since that and since the 1080 game.
Steep,
1080 was really cool. Like if you really liked actual snowboarding, 1080 was the way to go. But man, Snowboard Kids. That's my number 5 spot right there.
That was the Mario Kart of snowboard.
The Mario Kart of snowboarding. And this is another one where it's kind of on this list for a very specific multiplayer reason. Number 4 is Pokemon Stadium.
Yes.
Pokemon Stadium, it actually upsets me. We haven't really had a true console Pokemon Stadium type game in a while. And this one had like the best mini games. The one I'll always remember, it's the stupidest game. The ring toss with the Ekans.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why it was so fun, but we used to compete. We would just play it over and over again, see who could get the highest scores on it. The game was just awesome. And like, I love Pokemon. So taking... being able to bring in my Pokemon from like the Game Boy games and stuff. That was
huge.
It was awesome, and heck, Eric's been playing Pokemon even longer than I have because I stopped at one point. He just keeps getting the new games all the time.
No, I don't.
Not anymore. When's the last one you got?
Oh gosh,
what, X and Y? I never got X and Y.
Y was amazing. Y was a masterpiece. I know a lot of people will disagree with me, but I just adore that game.
Red and Blue was a masterpiece.
Red and Blue all the way. Red and Blue all the way.
Red and Blue all the way.
I can't disagree.
Maybe
with that.
Yellow.
They're great.
I can handle some Yellow. I might pick up Pokemon Sun and Moon. I'm debating. Some of it looks really cool, but I just don't know yet. I just don't. I got to play like a demo of it before. We'll see. Plus, like, there's a new Pokemon game, maybe sort of coming to NX. I don't know. Decide.
If I can get one thing in here, that game ruined controllers.
Oh my god. Pokemon Stadium. We wrecked so many N64 controllers with that game. If you play like N64, you know what the white powder is.
Yeah.
That's the grinding of your controller stick.
So, for anybody out there who doesn't know this, the Diglett Dig, not the Sandshrew Dig.
The Sandshrew Dig, yeah.
You set the controller on the cord, and you just rock it back and forth, and you destroy everybody.
Yes, it's not even close.
Yeah.
It's kind of like back in the day, when on the NES, when you're playing like the Olympic game and you're doing the run, and you put a pencil in between the A and B button, you go, and you can get going really, really, really fast.
or it's the one with the pad, and you run, you jump off the pad.
Oh yeah,
and then all of a sudden you jump
back on the pad.
Yep.
Yeah, to get longer jumps. Yeah, and you still have to jump back on the pad because if you don't, you're gonna crash. But oh yeah, there were so many ways to cheat the controls in these games that were not intended.
Yeah.
And that was definitely a controller breaker on that one.
Yeah. Sounds like they needed you guys with the quality assurance testing process.
Right.
Yeah. Third is Conquer. I love Conquer. We've already talked a lot about it. That was one of the first things I think of when I think N64 because we haven't had a true Conquer game since. All the other games we've had at least one more game after. We have not had another game since then that I love so much. Number 2 is Majora's Mask, and Majora's Mask is still among my top 5 favorite Zelda games of all time, so it's no surprise it's going to make a really high on my N64 list. Just everything that game did for the Zelda series that future Zelda games have taken inspiration from, but never really fully accomplished doing again. Hopefully they do that in Breath of the Wild next year. But just the side quest and the way they told the story and the way that everyone in the world mattered. To this day, I've yet to even find even modern games that are like that. You go play your Grand Theft Autos and stuff. Most of the people in that world are fodder and have no personality and don't matter. That's not true in Majora's Mask. So yeah, and Majora's Mask destroyed Ocarina of Time in my mind. Sorry, Darren.
Oh, that's totally fine.
Totally fine.
Majora's Mask is a great game.
A Zelda game made the list. There's so many good. Like Eric's bringing up a list of a bunch from here. I'm debating between 3 of them.
Oh no! Which will it be?
That's the problem. I have so many. We'll keep going. You know what? You know what I have to. But none of us have said it yet, so I'm going to put this on my list. Super Smash Bros. 64.
Oh yeah, how could I forget?
I don't know how we forgot that title. I don't play Smash as much now. I didn't like Brawl a whole lot. I really wasn't into Melee much. I did like the Wii U version, but again, I don't have a Wii U right now. We already went over that earlier. But the N64 version, man, that was the one that Eric would always come over to my house to play that. And we'd always fight over who's going to be Pikachu, because we both could be Pikachu, but it felt cheap if we were both the same character all the time, because Pikachu was like one of the fast characters that we were always good with. You hear nothing, Darren, because you don't matter anymore.
I can't hear you either, so...
Can't hear me anymore either?
No.
See, folks, this is what happens when we're doing this first-time podcast thing. Can you... Oh, you still can't hear me. I heard you for 1 second, then nothing.
Yep.
All right. Let me, I'm going to restart this call. For those who don't... Or I'm just going to rejoin the call. Let's see what happens. Can you hear me now, Darren?
Yes, I can. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Or should I say
welcome back. You mean you're
me?
welcome back, right? See, this is what happens. Our first time podcast is going to be technical difficulties at times.
Oh.
So, Super Smash Bros. 64. Just amazing.
Great game.
Now that we're doing this is our first ever MP podcast. Why don't we just go system by system here with Nintendo and go with our top 5s? We just did the N64.
Wait, did you ever get to your number 1?
Yeah.
Did you?
My number 1 was Smash.
Smash Brothers. Right.
Yeah, number 2 was Majora's Mask.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
Not counting.
You're not counting, not paying attention.
Yes.
Well, as people are going to get the comments, Nate, you only said 3 games.
Yeah.
Let me see. It was Snowboard Kids.
Yeah.
Let me see. Majora's Mask was on there.
Smash.
Conquers, and Pokemon Stadium. So, that was my 5.
I have to throw out Rogue Squadron, though.
Rogue Squadron. Oh, Rogue Squadron was so good. I liked it better on the GameCube.
Yeah.
GameCube version, but All right. So that obviously went really well. Let's just go through our top 5 for all the systems. Let's just hop back in time. NES. I'm sure we've all played enough NES games to have a top 5. I hope so. Darren's a youngin', so I'm not sure with that.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I have my NES sitting right next to me.
Okay. Perfect.
Actually, it was my father's. I mean, and it kind of still is, but I commandeered
my father's. So, Darrin, what's your top 5 NES games?
All right. So, right at the top, we got Mario 3. My favorite of the 2D Marios and my favorite NES game. At number 2...
Oh, that's awesome.
At number 2, we have Wrecking Crew. I have fond memories of that game. That is a great game.
Good choice.
At number 3, we have Super Tecmo Bowl, which is an
yes!
Amazing
Someone's going to say Tecmo Bowl.
I've had
Super Tecmo Bowl.
I have had so much fun with that game just playing with my dad.
Oh, that game is about.
Because he used to play it in college.
Like you can see, Eric and I are beaming. We love that game.
Yeah. It's an amazing game.
Oh, you know what game I forgot for the N64?
Oh, what?
Quarterback Club 99. Why didn't I say that? The Brett Favre cheating, running to the left, always knocking people. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can't believe I forgot about Quarterback Club. My bad. Keep going. You got
good. That's fine. Number 4, we have Zelda 2. I know Nate will be happy with that because he loves Zelda 2.
Sure do.
I still haven't beaten it, but it's a great game. It's just really hard. Another game that's really hard, which is my number 5, is the original Legend of Zelda for NES. I'm still stuck on my second playthrough at Dungeon 8. It's not as hard as Zelda 2, but it really is hard.
So, my top 5. At number 5, I have Excite Bike. Love Excite Bike. Played it a ton. Just a lot of fond memories. One of the first games I played a lot of. Number 4 for me, really easy one. I wish I might think back. It's one of the first games I have memories of actually playing because my dad was playing it first. Punch Out. Mm-hmm. I think it was Mike Tyson's Punch Out, specifically that version that my dad had. And I remember I used to watch him play. Then he would go cook dinner, and then I would play it. And I believe that might be the first video game I've ever actually played.
Nice.
So that was awesome. Number 3 for me is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Just amazing. I love the Ninja Turtle games for a while until they started getting bad.
There was one of them that was just terrible.
My number 2 game... Hold on, go back. It was just up on the screen for a second. Go over again. Okay, Final Fantasy 2. The American version, Final Fantasy 2. I had Mystic Quest, which was Final Fantasy 1 in the United States. It was called Mystic Quest, but that's the equivalent to Japan. Final Fantasy 2, I believe, was actually Final Fantasy 3 in Japan. I don't know. Back then, you didn't know this stuff because no one told you, but I just called it Final Fantasy 2, and I always thought that was the case until I got older and was like, oh no, all the numbers are messed up, and the games didn't come from Japan. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Anyways, this was the Final Fantasy 2, where you had the airships. Oh, it was awesome. Used to play a ton of that. And then my number one, part of me wants to say Zelda 2. Because I love Zelda 2. I absolutely love Zelda 2. Go back. But I just saw a game on screen that I love even more. Where is it? Is it all the way at the beginning? Double Dragon. Double Dragon. See, if you follow Zelda Informer, you'll know that Zelda 2 is my favorite game of the Zelda series. That does not mean that Zelda games are my favorite games. Zelda is my favorite franchise. I actually wrote an editorial on this a long time ago. Why Zelda will always remain my favorite franchise doesn't necessarily mean it's my all-time favorite games. Breath of the Wild might creep up there based on the demo.
Yeah.
But man, Double Dragon. Like, the movie was bad. It was kind of so bad it was funny. Kind of good, bad. That's the way I was with the Super Mario Bros. Movie, too. But, oh, man. Amazing game. Double Dragon, it does not get enough attention, in my opinion. Eric, what do we got? What's your top 5?
Ooh, okay. Number 5. Dr. Mario.
Excellent game.
Yeah, Dr. Mario is just crazy, especially once you get up to the higher levels. Number 4, I never technically did play it on the NES, but I did play it on an emulator. Was Contra.
Contra.
Oh,
was
Contra is an amazing
fantastic game. Let's see. Number 3, I'd have to say Battletoads.
Oh, that game is brutal.
Ridiculously
Battletoads
hard,
is brutal.
but so much fun.
So many NES games are brutal.
Yeah.
That game was among the hardest.
That one was ridiculous. Let's see. Number 2 would probably have to be Tecmo Super Bowl.
There we go.
Because, yeah.
The game's awesome.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was just fantastic. And my number 1, right there. Bubble Bobble.
Bubble Bobble. There we go.
I remember playing that with my cousin so much. And it took me forever to find it.
Wow.
And once I did, I snagged that up right away. And it's just a freaking awesome game.
Wow. So we're going to go back to back now. We're going straight to Super Nintendo.
Straight to SNES.
Oh, yeah.
And since I already have the list up, I guess I'll just go first this time. My top 5 for SNES is really, really hard. The SNES, Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Because it is my favorite console of all time. The Wii U is up there too, but man, most of the games I really, really love are on this. At number 5 is A Link to the Past. All-time classic, set the formula for the way Zelda has been ever since until, a lot of people think it's Ocarina of Time. No. A Link to the Past set Zelda's formula. And it's been that way up until Breath of the Wild. Probably the first major change since. Number 4 for me, Super Mario World. Can't go wrong. This was like in the heyday of Mario. You had Super Mario Bros. 3. I know, like Super Mario Bros. 2, a lot of people hated it. I liked it.
Yeah, so did I.
I really
love
like
it.
Super Mario Bros. 2.
Yep.
I know it wasn't originally supposed to be a Mario game, but I'm really glad it was. I just like
it was created to demonstrate a Mario-like platformer, then changed to Doki Doki Panic, then changed back to Mario in the States.
So look at that. Look at the youngin' has all the history.
Yeah, right? Wow. That's crazy.
But Super Mario World, it just... that's 2 games now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I just want to make sure, so I get my placements right here. So I went to the past, and the Super Mario World, just loved it, the flying mechanics, or the gliding mechanics, I guess. Just awesome. Really reminded me of Super Mario Bros. 3, but in a different way. It's just amazing. I was torn between Super Mario World and Super Mario All-Stars, but I don't know if I should really count a collection pack over a singular game, so I just went with Super Mario World. At number 3, this is where people think I'm weird. It's Lion King.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many of you out there played Lion King, but back in the SNES days, licensed video games did not necessarily mean bad video games. And Lion King was an amazing platformer that had hilarious mini games that you would do with Timon and Pumbaa. Mostly revolving around eating bugs, but it was just awesome. And I still to this day have not beaten it, but it doesn't matter. I played it over and over and over again for so many years. Obviously I have a ranked higher than Super Mario World. That's how much fun I had with Lion King. Number 2. This is always a tough one. Part of me wants to say Super Mario RPG. Part of me wants to say Earthbound. But I gotta go with Turtles in Time.
Ooh.
Again, another Ninja Turtle game's making my list. But this is kind of where Ninja Turtle games stopped being good for me. It was after this game. This is the best Ninja Turtles game in my mind. I owned a copy of it.
Probably not a good idea to get into that one.
I could have got a lot of money for that copy at the time. Of course, then again, I got more money than when my mom was just going to make me give them away to Goodwill or something.
That's true.
So
yeah, that is true.
I have a bad story about I could have got like a couple $100 for that game, and ended up not, and it ended up being one of the rarest SNES games out there. So I should have held on to it. But yeah, Turtles in Time, just an amazing game. And then my number one should be obvious to anyone who really knows me. It is my favorite game of all time.
Secret of Mana.
Secret of Mana. Oh yeah, Secret of Mana was clearly. I mean, if we're ranking, even if we include all outside platform PlayStations and Xboxes and Genesis and all, it doesn't matter. Secret of Mana is my number one of all time. My number one SNES game, no doubt. Darrin. Wait, no.
All right, Super
Yeah,
Nintendo. A Link to the Past is at number one. I'm gonna start from number one because why not? A Link to the Past, an amazing Zelda game. I love it. Love it so dearly. I mean, I love the sprites. Any SNES game had good sprites, but I mean, I just love this game. It's a masterpiece. It inspired A Link Between Worlds.
Sure.
It's just amazing. Next up, Super Mario World at number two. I mean, I love that. Love the gliding mechanics.
Good.
Number three is Earthbound. It's a great RPG. I love it to death. Fourth is Mario RPG, another great RPG game, a great game in the Mario franchise. And then Donkey Kong Country 2 is number five. I love Donkey Kong.
Good choice.
Yeah, that was one of the ones that we didn't bring up for the 64 too. Was Donkey Kong Country 64?
Oh yeah, that's a good game.
Well, there's so many good
know.
games on the 64 and the Super Nintendo. Sony you haven't even mentioned yet. So let's see. Eric, it's your top five.
Yeah. Well, to be completely honest, I never really did play much for the SNES.
But
I
know those games you remember.
Oh, I know.
'Cause you played on mine.
Yeah, I know. Let's see.
I saw you looking up what one of them probably is.
Yeah. Yep. I gotta put Secret of Mana in my top five.
Yes!
I don't necessarily have an order here, just because, like I said, I didn't play much.
Best game of all time, man.
Yep. Obviously, Super Mario World.
Sorry, Ocarina of Time. You suck.
Well then, no need to be so rude.
Breath of the Wild. Actually, in the demo I played, I think the reason I loved it so much is it reminded me of Secret of Mana.
It reminded you of not Ocarina of Time. Is that what you're saying?
No, it reminded me of what a good game is.
Oh wow!
I really want to get hated today.
Oh, everyone, his Twitter handle is Nate Jantz. If you want to go, send him a hate tweet.
Send all your hate. Don't go to NintendoPrime.com. It might not even be live right now. The bill is going to get paid for it, but it just isn't going to get paid for a week or two.
All right. So that was.
Thank you, by the way, for everyone who helped donate for my new computer and for stuff. For those who don't know, because this is the first episode of Nintendo Prime Podcast, I don't really have a main computer anymore. I got fried in a lightning storm. But some fine people on Facebook specifically have donated to help me get a new computer. So I'm building a new one in conjunction with a nice little loan I'm getting from my girlfriend from her student loans. So thank you. You guys are helping make things possible. And obviously, you guys also, some of you help donate to pay the bill at Nintendo Prime. You can, if you care about it, when Nintendo Prime is back up, you can go to it and look down and see what happened, why the bill got crazy. But I really appreciate you guys' help, because without it, I probably would have never come close to the funds I need. Anyways, let's see. I was also trying to buy Eric some more time here as he's trying to figure out his games.
Oh, we're good.
Here we go.
I think I figured it out. So next one, again, Turtles in Time.
Turtles in Time.
Another fantastic game. Then I would have to go with Super Mario RPG. That was, I know you mentioned it,
but yeah,
fantastic game.
So many good games.
And then finally, Mega Man X. Mega Man X was a fantastic game.
Probably one of the best Mega Man games.
Yeah. And for those of you out there, I would recommend Sequelitis' Mega Man X video. It is fantastic.
Yes, it is. All right, that gets us into Game Boy territory, baby. Whew. Game Boy, come on.
Ooh.
We've all got some. Obviously, Eric and I grew up with it. Darrin, probably played some Virtual Console. Maybe he's got a Game Boy. I guess I shouldn't undersell him.
I actually have a Game Boy Advance. I've never owned a Game Boy.
Game Boy Advance is not the same thing. Not the same thing. That's okay. You've probably played some Game Boy games, though, thanks to all the Virtual Console stuff out there.
Yeah, potato, tomato.
Right. Let's go Eric first.
Oh, gosh.
This time around. Because he hasn't gone first yet on the top 5 here.
Yeah, we're
and, like, this is our childhood. I mean, this...
Yeah.
Let's go. What do you got? What do you got?
Well,
top 5.
Well, let's see.
I know he's
top
like, you didn't give me any time.
Well, 3 of the top 5 are Pokemon games. Right there. Red, blue, and yellow.
You can count that as one game if you want.
Cheat there.
You're going to cheat? Okay. I mean, you can cheat if you want. But
No.
I would throw it all as one game.
Right.
Because they're all like the same game.
kind of, in a way.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Different
game and a
Pokemon.
half.
Different Pokemon, and then, like, in the Pikachu, the Pikachu can follow you.
Yeah. Woo!
Just like in the show.
Oh, gosh. Man, that's pretty much all I played as a kid. On the Game Boy was Pokemon.
So
You
to
didn't
be
play
clear
anything
here,
else?
Not really, completely honest.
to be clear, are we counting Game Boy Color games for the Game Boy as well?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Are we counting
Game Boy Color.
advanced games?
Okay.
No, Game Boy Advance
Okay.
is the new generation.
So,
Okay.
color involved, then you'd have to add in Mario Golf, Mario Tennis.
There you go.
Yep.
Mario Golf, Mario Tennis.
Mario
There you
Golf,
go.
Mario Tennis.
So is that how you're just going to end your top 5 there?
Yep.
3 Pokemon games
3
and Mario
Pokemon
Golf,
games, 2 Mario games, we're good.
Oh,
We're
boy.
golden.
Darren, come on. Give me some variety here. What do we got?
All right. Well, at the top we got Link's Awakening. I mean,
There we go.
there's a shock, a Zelda game from the managing editor of Zelda Informer. Wow.
Yeah. Just like it when I put a Zelda game on, when I'm wearing a Zelda Informer shirt. Come on now.
Pokemon Yellow, number 2. And I'm trying to see what else I wrote down here on this list. It's very dark in here. Oracle of Seasons, an amazing
Okay.
Zelda game.
There you
I
go.
love
Some
that,
Zelda.
too.
More Zelda love.
I mean, I like Link's Awakening better, but Oracle is just... Oh, man, I love that game. And I'm not sure if this counts, but Frogger was also on the console. Like Frogger.
All right. It can count. It didn't originate there, but that's okay.
Okay, another game that didn't originate, but is on the console is Galaga. I know those last 2 are a cop-out, but whatever. Galaga's also an
What?
amazing...
I copped out with the 3 Pokemon games. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was
that's
gonna
true. Okay, I don't feel that bad anymore.
He didn't include it as one game, even though it's like the same game.
Yeah.
We'll count it as 1.5.
So, obviously growing up, lots of Pokemon. Lots and lots of Pokemon. So it kind of goes without saying that at my number 5 spot is going to be Pokemon Red and Blue and Yellow. Just as all as one game. And just to get it out of the way, my number 4 spot is Pokemon Gold and Silver. That epitomized my handheld childhood. Like majority of the time I was playing games, I played those. At number 3, I'm going to put the Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. I'm going to just combine it into one. I know they technically have some slight differences in them, and obviously
They're
deal with
two
different.
games.
Yeah, they're basically 2 different games that take place in the same land, and have a combined ending. And because of that combined ending, is kind of why I've combined them together. And I'm not going to spoil it for you if you've never experienced the combined ending. I highly suggest you literally go beat those games, get the codes, and enjoy that final stuff in the game. At number 2, I'm surprised no one mentioned this.
Oh, it just hit me.
Mario
I'm sorry,
Land.
Nate. I gotta interrupt you. Balloon Fight.
Oh.
I totally should have
Balloon
put
Fight.
that on my
Balloon
NES
Fight.
list.
Yes.
I don't know why that didn't hit me, but
Yeah.
Balloon Fight is one of the best NES games ever. Okay, go on.
It is.
And you, of course, you do it right as I hit my number 2.
Yeah, sorry.
Super Mario Land.
Nice.
It
Yeah.
might be better to me than Mario 3. And that's saying something, because I love Mario Bros. 3. Super Mario Land, just something about that portable, full Mario experience. There was another game that I thought about putting there. It was a Ninja Turtles game, again. But the problem is my dog chewed it, and I never got to get past the first level, because the game would turn off after the first level. So I didn't play enough of it to put it on my top 5. But whatever that Ninja Turtles game was, where each of the 4 Ninja Turtles had their own unique ability, and one of them was where Michelangelo could kind of float down, twisting his nunchucks. I do not remember what it's called because my dog destroyed it. I was so sad. It was a birthday present. I'm so sad about that one. My number 1 is Link's Awakening. It was the very first Game Boy game I ever played. I've told the story before, but my first experience with Game Boy was beating up a kid on the bus and taking his Game Boy. And
Oh my gosh.
a little bullying action. See, the
I
surprise is
didn't
there.
know that.
I've told this story on Zelda Informer multiple times.
Okay.
But yeah, so I did like the next day. No, it was like a week later. I gave the kid his Game Boy back because I got one for my birthday. Because anyways, I was a bit of a bully back then. But yeah, that's what actually got me into Zelda too. It was my very first Zelda game as well. So Link's Awakening holds a really special spot for me. Lots of nostalgia with that placement, but Link's Awakening is just a fantastic game. And obviously later on I played Link's Awakening DX, which to me is the better version. Includes the color dungeon. Obviously the game's in color, so that's always good. I believe that brings us up to we did the N64 era.
Yes.
Is it Game Boy Advance time?
Yeah, I think
it's
it
Game
is.
Boy Advance time. Because that was before GameCube. So Game Boy Advance. Lots of great games on Game Boy Advance. Let's, you know what? I'll start, and I'll give you guys a moment here. Because I think I know what some of my games are going to be. I know I don't have an order for the Game Boy Advance because I'm trying to remember some of the games for it. But I know Advance Wars is on that list. Advance Wars was amazing. I am very sad that we don't have... that we just don't have more stuff like that kind of strategy going on. In fact, I know there was an indie game that actually recently released that is basically Advance Wars, but a lot better version. I'm going to have to go to Wikipedia because Google's not giving me enough games here. That's exactly what Eric's over here doing.
Yep.
Because the list on Google was very bad.
Yeah, I was looking at that too. It has like 10 games.
Yeah, I know. And none of them are in my top. It's gonna be. I'm gonna be so mad when I see these games. This game I'm gonna include more so because I enjoyed it on PC, but I did play it on Game Boy Advance and liked it a lot. And I played it a lot. It's Backyard Football. Yep. Love Backyard Football. As I said, I did play it more on PC, but the Game Boy Advance version was basically the PC version. It was amazing. And I'm just talking about the original. I didn't play the 2006 version. And then there was obviously Mario Kart. Game Boy Advance, I believe had Mario Kart, didn't it? Did it not? I'm pretty sure the first time I played it on handheld was on Game Boy Advance.
I believe so.
Let me look that up quick. See, this is for those who don't know, Game Boy Advance was actually my least played system. So that's why I'm trying to remember.
I had Mario Kart Super Circuit.
Super Circuit. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so I apologize to people that really love the Game Boy Advance. That feels like I'm slighting you a little bit. But it was my least liked Nintendo system.
It's okay. I have a killer list, and because I love Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, see, I'm not big into Game Boy Advance, so I got that. I need two more, right? Oh! Castlevania Circle of the Moon. That is my favorite Castlevania game. Game. And I love Castlevania. I love Metroid. So having games like that are awesome. And that was my all-time favorite one so far. And then I'm just kind of glancing through here. This is why I was trying to buy you guys some time.
I already had my list already.
Oh, hold on. Nope, that's not one of my top. Nope. It's a game I liked, but it wasn't one of my top. I'll throw this out there just because it was actually one of my favorite SNES games, but I played it more on Game Boy Advance. Earthworm Jim, baby. Earthworm Jim, an amazing platformer. It was even more fun. It was even more fun for me on Game Boy Advance. And I know there's other games that were on Game Boy Advance, some F-Zero stuff. This is a huge list of games. Nothing else really stands out to me. There were some Pokemon games, of course, and but of all the games I played for Game Boy Advance, those are the only ones I really remember. So those will probably be my top 5, since nothing else really stuck out to me on that system. That's sad. I know it's sad. Darren's about to own me with his top 5.
Right,
so Darren, what do you got?
All right, first one. Well, actually, no. I'll start with number 5. Is classic NES series. I know that's cheating again because
I got to cheat it too.
It's a bunch of NES games. But they're great NES games. Balloon Fight, Bomberman, Dr. Mario, Excitebike, Donkey Kong, Mario Bros, Zelda. You got a lot of stuff on there.
So it's the NES Mini.
Yeah, really. Number 4 would be Pokemon Fire Red. Gotta love Fire Red.
Okay. Game Boy Advance is about the time I stopped playing Pokemon. So.
Then at number 3 is LM, which I can't remember what that means. Regardless, my number 2 is the Minish Cap. A great Zelda game. Oh my gosh, what is LM?
Underrated.
It is an underrated game.
He's mad. He put a game on a list and he doesn't remember what it is.
Yeah, it's LM, and I don't know what the frig it is. Okay, well, number 1 is Astro Boy Omega Factor. I don't know if anyone out there played that game as much as I did, but I played that game every day. I've beat it multiple times. I've beat it in like a day. It is just an amazing, amazing game that I will love for the rest of my life. I mean, it's just an amazing game. If you ever have a chance to play that game, play it. You will not regret it.
All right, it's Eric's turn. Top 5.
I have a question for Darren.
Yes.
Did LM stand for Lizzie McGuire?
It did not, no.
Oh. He was looking at it like, is this what he's talking about? Lizzie McGuire on the go.
LM.
Lizzie McGuire 2.
Yep.
That was a good show, though. That was a good show.
Lizzie McGuire 3. Homecoming Havoc. Man, a trilogy, baby.
Yeah, right. Again, I didn't really play. I used my Game Boy Advance more for my Game Boy games, to be completely honest.
Yep.
A
lot of
Game
people
Boy Color
did.
games. But so you can pretty much add my list of Game Boy games and color games to this
Try
list.
to cop out.
No. But
You copped out.
no.
Yeah,
I did not.
that's a
I
cop
do
out.
have
I'm sorry.
games.
Oh, I got an agreement there. Okay. Anyways, let's see.
I mean, I had a cop out too, but whatever.
Hey, oh God.
Again, this seems like one of our least liked eras.
Oh, where is it? Oh yeah, Dodgeball.
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 It's better on the
I can't
NES.
remember. Oh, that brings me back to NES.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should have been on my top 5.
Yeah.
At like 1A.
Yeah, 1A.
Because
That game was
was
amazing.
fantastic. Also, another game that could have been on there was Captain Skyhawk that I just remembered again.
Just keep going back.
Yeah,
keep going
right.
back to the consoles
Keep
you
going
actually
back
like
to the
games on.
So Dodgeball, and there was one other one that I had seen that I can't remember now.
That's the way it goes.
Oh, any of the NBA games, those were fun.
Surprised none of us mentioned Fire Emblem.
Yeah, I never actually played them.
You've never played any Fire Emblems?
Nope.
Me neither. I'm sorry to
you
say.
need to play the new ones.
Yeah.
I
New
really
ones are
want to play
amazing.
Awakening.
From Fire Emblem Awakening, and then like if you play Fire Emblem Awakening, or if you played like Fates or whatever, you will love it. It is exactly
sure
the
I
kind
would.
of game that you would like. Like not just you, Darren. Like Eric, based on the games I've known he's played, like Majesty and all, like he would love.
Majesty's
He would
fun.
love
Yeah.
Fire Emblem.
Nice.
It's
All right,
right in the
yeah,
wheelhouse.
I'm going to get Awakening sometime. I keep putting it off, but I will.
Look at this. He's struggling so much.
Right?
He's down to
I'm
the
still
essence.
I'm still struggling
Scooby-Doo.
trying to find out what
Scooby-Doo.
LM is.
Yeah.
Lizzie McGuire, obviously.
Yeah, right.
It's not. I didn't even know they were on the Game Boy
Just
Advance.
admit to it, Lizzie McGuire, baby.
It was an amazing show, but
It's
I've
okay
never
to
played
be
any
like,
of the
I'm
games.
all up on that Lizzie McGuire, man.
I
all
just
good.
said I like the show.
I know.
I don't know about the games though. I didn't even know they had games.
Oh my God.
Of course they did. Every popular show had games.
Wow, where the heck was it?
The Tony Hawk Pro Skater going on.
Yeah.
here. Top Spin 2. I remember that game.
Top Gear.
There was Uno.
I had one more.
Oh no, yeah.
Oh, well, he doesn't remember. It's a
Oh my
Warrior
goodness, I
Warrior
remembered
Line.
what it was. Okay, that L was not an L, it was a Z, and it stood for Metroid Zero Mission. That is an amazing game.
Oh,
okay.
see, that's totally like LM. I'm like, the only LM game is Lizzie McGuire.
Oh, there might be some out there that I don't think this is.
Curse my bad
Yeah.
handwriting.
All right, well, he can't remember, so let's
Yeah.
let's move on to consoles that we maybe would remember more games for.
Okay.
The Nintendo GameCube.
GameCube.
So,
I can go first if you want.
yeah, you can go first in this turn.
Alright. So at number 5 is Mario Kart Double Dash. An
There you go.
amazing Mario Kart game.
Again, another awesome series.
Yeah, another one. I mean, you can't go wrong with any of the Mario Kart games.
Mario Kart Smash. Like, their ongoing series are really hard to go wrong with.
Oh, yeah.
Except for Mario Party, which now sucks.
Yeah. I can't remember. What's the name of the Mario Party game on GameCube?
I think there's more than one, too.
Well, what's the first one that was on it? I can't remember. I feel so bad.
I'm trying to find it right now. Oh, I already know.
Mario Party 5? No.
It was the first Mario
Party. Mario Party 5 wasn't. I mean, that was on there, but that wasn't the. Mario Party 5 was really good.
Yeah.
It says right there. The very first one, Mario Party 4.
Okay, yeah, Mario Party 4. That was good. At number 3, we have Mario Sunshine.
Ooh, yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Probably my favorite 3D Mario game, Sunshine. Number 2 is Zelda the Wind Waker. I've recently been playing the HD remaster, and I have just fallen in love with this game. It is an amazing...
Tingle Tuner. Except it's not
Tingle Tuner, yay. And then
at the top... Sorry.
At the top, I know I kind of mentioned this before, but it's due for another mention, because this is... in my top 3 list of favorite games would be Animal Crossing. I just...
Yep.
Oh, I love that game.
So, my list is pretty simple because I love the GameCube. So we have Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, number 5. Yep. That was a game me and Eric used to play a lot. That was the one game that me, you, and Chris would play a lot. Because I didn't play a lot of games with his buddy Chris because just never worked out that we hung out together much. But that was the one game that all 3 of us would just play it out nonstop. I know a lot of people didn't like Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. I loved it. My 4th game is Animal Crossing. I mean, it needs no explanation. It's one of the most popular games.
It's Animal Crossing. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, it really needs no explanation with how popular it is today. My next is... I'm torn. Because there's a lot of really good games there, like Resident Evil 4, Soul Calibur 2, Beautiful Joe, Pokemon Coliseum. So many good games. But I'm going to put on Time Splitters 2.
Ooh, yes.
While everyone's off playing their Call of Duties, playing their Battlefields, playing their Halos, Time Splitters is where I was at, man. Just an amazing futuristic multiplayer shooter with great comedy with the characters. I'm really sad that series basically doesn't exist anymore. My number 1 is The Wind Waker. It is among my favorite Zelda games, my favorite GameCube games, and like I said, there's so many GameCube games that I love. You know, we didn't even mention Twilight Princess, which technically was a GameCube game. Eternal Darkness was a great one. Tales of Symphonia, another great one. There was also Baten Kaitos. That was a really awesome GameCube game. There's a lot of great ones. But I'm going to stop listing them off because I might be giving Eric too many ideas and he might not be coming up with his own list.
No, you guys covered most of them.
Of course we did.
Yeah.
Because there's so many amazing games on the GameCube.
Yeah.
It was like, the GameCube kind of marked like the last epic era for me for Nintendo, for home consoles. Not to say the Wii and the Wii U have been bad, they haven't, but it's just like, man, like this is where it's at. There's so many good third-party and first-party games on this system. All right, what do you got?
Okay. So, again, I'm not going to really order them much, but I do like Sunshine. Double Dash was fantastic. Melee, of course.
There we go. Melee mentioned. There we go. Surprised none of us said Metro Prime.
Yeah. Resident Evil 4 was fantastic.
There we go.
Yep. You can't go wrong with the Crystal Chronicles.
Can't go wrong with Crystal or Paper Mario. Thousand Year Door.
You know, I haven't played much of that. I've seen it played, and
you are so missing out. It is an amazing game.
It looks like fun. Animal Crossing, obviously, and then I have to add one that you guys didn't. That would be F-Zero.
F-Zero, there it is.
F-Zero.
There's the F-Zero love.
Yeah, that game was so much fun on here.
Oh, Nintendo, you need to bring that back, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mario Kart is no
launch
substitute.
title, please.
Yeah.
Mario Kart is no substitute for it.
Yeah, I loved when you died in that game. You could sit there and try to blow people up with the lottery.
All right, so now we get to some of the more modern eras here. We got the Nintendo DS, and I'm I know for sure Eric played a lot of DS games. I played a ton of DS games. I'm sure you played a lot of DS games.
Oh, I've played a lot of them, yes.
Like, this is, like, right in your wheelhouse growing up right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the DS. So, well, you know what, Darren? Why don't you go first? Since you're the youngest here. This is right in your wheelhouse growing up.
All right, let's go. Number 5 would be New Super Mario Bros. I absolutely adore that game. I take a shot every time I say this game is amazing, or I absolutely adore that game. I mean, it's a great. It was Mario's return to side-scrolling, which you can't go wrong with. I mean, it was just an all-around fun game to play. I've beat that game multiple times. Mario Kart DS, I've had a lot of fun in the battle mode there, and some mini games. The racing. I just love it. Phantom Hourglass is at number 3. Zelda Phantom Hourglass. That was fun fact. It was my first.
Light it on fire.
First Zelda game that I ever played.
Okay, maybe I'll give you a pass.
I'm sorry,
Nostalgia.
Nate. It got me into Zelda, so how bad can it be? Animal Crossing Wild World lands at number 2. I mean, it's my second favorite DS game. It's probably my second favorite Animal Crossing game.
Of course.
Or no, third favorite, because I'll tell you my top 3 when we get to the 3DS. But it's just an amazing game. At number 1 is Spirit Tracks, Zelda Spirit Tracks. I did not beat that game when I first played it. I beat it when I got a 3DS, and I bought the 3DS to play a game that was coming out months after I had bought it. So I'm like, well, I have this new console. What am I going to play on it? And so I'm like, oh, Spirit Tracks. I have this. I haven't beat it. So I popped it in.
My heart just skipped a beat because Eric's on his computer over here, and I just saw him on Zelda.com.
Oh, my goodness.
So I'm just, like, drooling over all the Zelda games, and then I saw Breath of the Wild for a second, and I was just like, I had a heart attack. I'm sorry.
Well, there was a notification from the newsroom, and someone put a link there, and my heart skipped a beat too, because I'm like, did Breath of the Wild news or NX news drop while we were recording this?
I'm sure it was nothing.
That'd be interesting.
It wasn't anything. Spirit Tracks, yeah.
Dang it! I'm going to look too. I was like,
Yeah. Cool. For anyone who is interested in what it is, Twilight Princess Picross, which you can get through the new Nintendo reward
3DS.
system that sucks, is being extended into different regions. So Spirit Tracks, great game. Go play it. That's my list. Thank you.
Sure. Aaron, have you go next? Because I gotta go take care of the schnoz here.
Okay. Oh, jeez. Well, so we're not counting 3DS and DS?
No, they're separate systems.
Okay. Because, yeah, I think I've actually only played really much for 3DS games. I don't think I've actually owned an actual DS.
You've already played DS games on your 3DS.
Well, right, but I don't know which ones are which.
Well, one says DS,
I never paid attention to that. I just played the dang games.
Are they in 3D or 2D?
I never play with the 3D on.
No,
I do. You're missing out, man.
64, 2D, like SNES. That's the difference. I'm not even kidding. That's the big difference between DS and 3DS. It's literally like an SNES versus an N64.
Yeah. Let's see.
So now you're just like, dang it.
Yeah, right.
Come on, Eric.
Yeah.
Get some games, man.
Get some games, yeah.
I know. This was your Xbox. This was your Xbox life now.
I was never actually,
were
I
too
love
big for
Nintendo, but I was more of the Xbox guy.
I knew this was a
you always had the
Microsoft
Nintendo
podcast.
covered, so
This is secretly a Microsoft podcast.
yeah, I know. It is a gaming podcast.
I gotta come save the day.
Yes, you do. Because I don't really have much
This is
for
not
actual
going
DS games.
Well, before I save the dash, I make sure it's still recording. Oh, yeah. All right.
Okay.
I was just like, I thought I turned airplane mode on. All right. So, DS, baby. Number 5, Cooking Mama. Oh, Cooking Mama. A lot of people remember for the Wii. No. DS is where it's at, baby. Cooking Mama. Another game that, let me go back here, because now I don't remember off the top of my head. Harvest Moon. Harvest Moon DS. That's my number 4. Played a lot of that game. Number 3 is Chrono Trigger. Love that game. Surprised it hasn't been brought up yet.
Nice.
I'm not surprised Eric didn't bring it up, although I think he'd really like that game. Number 2 is Spirit Tracks. No doubt one of the best Zelda games in my mind. And if you wrote it off because it has trains or because you didn't like Phantom Hourglass, you were doing yourself a disservice. The only thing it does not correct is you still have to move around with the stylus, which I think is still absolutely ridiculous on a system that has a D-pad, because the stylus, like tapping to move around, wasn't innovative.
I didn't mind that, to be honest.
It was just, I know, but it was just done because they could do it. It didn't actually improve the game, in my mind. I don't mind tapping to attack, that's fine, but it just... Anyways, that was the only thing I really disliked about Spirit Tracks. Otherwise, everything else in that game is fantastic. It fixed all the issues I had with Phantom Hourglass, which I, again, think is a terrible game. And
I think is an amazing game.
To people who like, oh, but he was crapping on Ocarina of Time earlier. Okay, Phantom Hourglass is worse than Ocarina of Time, so Ocarina of Time is a better game than Phantom Hourglass.
You are so salty that Nintendo made Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time is I mean, it's like number... There's 18 Zelda games. I think it's like number 10. So it's not like I hate the game. There's
what are the 8 other Zelda games?
Oh, you want me to list it right now?
I want you to list them.
All right. Hold on. I actually... So I don't even have to think about this. I just made this list on the forums over at the ZDI forums that aren't technically announced. But hey, I just announced them.
Yay, Zelda Dungeon Informer forums.
When these forums are announced is like the same day this podcast comes out. So, but they're live right now at zeldadungeon.net/forum. I'm just waiting for them to load here. I'm gonna make sure I don't contradict my list, because when I'm working off the top of my head, sometimes I don't exactly get my list 100% right.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just because I put more thought into it while I was making this list before. And right now, off the top of my head, I might not have the exact thoughts that I had when I was trying to rank them. So, go up here. I was the very first post. Where's my list? There it is. So, I obviously had The Adventure of Link ahead of it, Skyward Sword ahead of it, Link's Awakening ahead of it, Triforce Heroes ahead of it.
We know what you had ahead of it. Just what are the 8 other games?
Well, it looks like it's more than 8. But, no, it might not be more than 8 if I get rid of the side games. So it's The Adventure of Link, Skyward Sword, Link's Awakening, Triforce Heroes, Majora's Mask, Spirit Tracks, The Wind Waker, Four Swords Adventures, Twilight Princess, The Minish Cap, Oracle of Ages, A Link Between Worlds, A Link to the Past. And then it's Ocarina of Time. Then all the other games are behind Ocarina of Time.
Like?
Oracle of Seasons is behind it.
What?
Legend of Zelda NES is behind it.
What?
Four Swords is behind it.
What?
Phantom Hourglass is behind it. Phantom Hourglass is actually my least liked mainline game. So
how can they be so low on your list that they can be behind Ocarina of Time, a game that you hate? Those games are just masterpieces.
I didn't say it. Okay. Correction. I don't hate Ocarina of Time.
You severely dislike it.
No, I don't even severely dislike it. There isn't a Zelda game I severely dislike besides Phantom Hourglass. Like, Phantom Hourglass is just a terrible game, period.
It's an amazing game.
But setting aside whatever bias I have against it, Ocarina of Time I don't actually think it's a bad game. It just comes across as me thinking it's a terrible game because everybody thinks it's so good. So like the fact that I just think it's okay makes people be like, oh my god, you hate the game. I'm like, I don't hate Ocarina of Time.
You literally said at the beginning of the podcast, Ocarina of Time sucks. Yeah,
it does. But it's not a bad game. It's not like a bad game. Like, there's a lot of games I think that suck, but they're not really bad. They're just not... They don't appeal to me, as it were. There's a lot of flaws in Ocarina of Time that get completely ignored because it was the first 3D adventure game, or one of the first 3D adventure games. Flaws that have been massively improved on over the years, but still get overlooked, and people still say Ocarina of Time was better than, which it never was better than all the improvements that were made to the series since. But nostalgia, and yeah. Plus, Ocarina of Time gets a lot of credit for things that A Link to the Past should be getting credit for. So
I'll give you that.
Ocarina of Time, to me, did two things really well for the series. One, it successfully transitioned a 2D series into the 3D realm, and it also introduced the targeting system. besides that, there really isn't that much that's really innovative in Ocarina of Time.
Targeting system is really innovative, though.
But like those two things were huge, and even then, the targeting system it's already existed in other games. So like Mega Man had it in it before Ocarina of Time came out. There was like a couple of PC games that had it, so it wasn't even really a new thing. It was just new to. It felt newer at the time because there weren't a lot of games that had it, and games were just transitioning into 3D. So as I said, it successfully transitioned to 3D, which is a big deal. And it introduced it mainstreamed a Z targeting system. And those are two really big deals, and two things I'll always give it credit for. But those two things alone don't really make it a good game, in my mind. So, yeah. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Ocarina of Time. I do like the story, the 7 years, all the surprises, the Sheik surprise. Like I love a lot of stuff about Ocarina of Time, but gameplay-wise, it just wasn't that great to me. And
hey,
that's
did you guys know Sheik is actually a guy?
So. Oh my gosh. Don't start this again. So where were we? We were talking about DS before. I think it's time for us to move on because I know Eric's struggling with DS.
Poor Eric.
He got more back into Nintendo with the 3DS.
Yeah.
So let's just go straight into the Wii. Nintendo Wii. We all know what it is, whether we owned it or not. What?
No 3DS games?
3DS is after the Wii.
Yeah.
3DS is current generation.
Again, I'm...
Say,
off of
3DS
Nintendo.
Was not bad. It was not out in 2006.
Yes.
Came out in 2006.
Yes, Wii,
yes.
3DS.
MP Podcast, where we have someone who doesn't know anything about Nintendo.
Hey,
Hey, but you know what? He doesn't know
this is a favor for you.
he doesn't know anything about Nintendo except he's played Breath of the Wild and you haven't.
That's true. That's true.
He's got one up on all of you guys out there, unless you were also at E3 or any of the other various media events and got to play the game. Plus, he really liked it. In fact, I think he might consider getting a Wii U or an NX when it comes out, just for that game alone. Like, we're the kind of gamers that if one game's really awesome, we'll literally buy the system just for that one. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've done that before.
That's just the way it is, and I'm slowly getting him back into Nintendo. Breath of the Wild. Oh man. Anyways, so let's get into the Wii era. The era that, everyone says, oh, it was casual, blue ocean, Nintendo didn't make any good games. That's a lie.
That's a big fat lie.
That's a big fat lie. So, Darren, you want to go first in the Wii era?
Oh, sure.
Top five?
First up is Nate. Now, just hold on. Skyward Sword. I know you love that game. I mean, number one.
I just creamed my pants.
Skyward Sword. Oh my gosh. Oh my.
Okay, I didn't actually cream my pants. All right.
Okay, I didn't need to hear that. Okay, Skyward Sword number one.
How old are you, Darren? Come on, what are you, 12?
7. Number 2, City Folk. Animal Crossing City Folk. Another awesome Animal Crossing game. New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Another great side-scrolling Mario. And then Wii Sports. Wii Sports was amazing. Such fun playing that game. I mean, it was just an awesome game. And then Kirby's Epic Yarn. It sits at number 5. I know a lot of people thought it sucked. I thought it was.
No, it was great.
It was great. I thought it was
People
amazing.
didn't like it because they wanted something else.
What?
They got...
Screw you, people. I like that game.
That's your top 5?
Yep, that's my top 5.
I'm going to combine my number 5 because it's technically two different games. But there's so many Wii games I like. Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario Galaxy 2, number 5.
Why didn't I put Mario Galaxy 2 in there?
I don't know how you missed it.
I'm such an idiot.
If I was going to... if I could only keep one on the list, it would be Mario Galaxy 2. To me, it is the better of the Mario Galaxy games. So Mario Galaxy itself was the one that offered that gravity-defying innovation to Mario. Just cannot forget. There's so many good games out.
All right, let's bump Kirby's Epic Yarn off there and put Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 on my list. I don't care.
Number 4, Donkey Kong Country Returns.
Another good game.
It was the return of Donkey Kong Country, and it was made by a studio that wasn't Rare. Of course, Retro Studios might as well be the new Rare. And it was amazing. I don't know if I necessarily like it better than Donkey Kong Country 2, but it was up there. And I won't mention the other Donkey Kong Country game right now because, well, it might make a certain other list of mine. So that was number 4. Number 3, I gotta give it to... Because I didn't throw it on the GameCube list, I'm going to give it to Twilight Princess, because it released first on Wii. It is a GameCube game to me. It'll always be a GameCube game to me, but I did first play it on the Wii because that's what it first released on. So I want to give some love to Twilight Princess. Number 2, I'm just kind of glancing here. There was, I think it was No More Heroes. Loved No More Heroes. It really was a nice proof of concept of what you could do with the Wiimote and the motion controls. And then number 1 for me, obviously, it's a bit of a cop-out because I'm from Zelda Informer, Skyward Sword. To me, to date, it is the best combat in a Zelda game that I've ever experienced. And that alone makes it one of my favorite games. Beyond the story, beyond the world, beyond the characters, beyond Groos's Pompadour. So
Even
yeah,
that.
that's my top 5. And like I'm missing out on so many great games. The Wii has a plethora of amazing games.
You can say that with any Nintendo console. I mean, you can.
I can even argue that like the best Call of Duty console game is on Wii, because the motion controller was so good that when they released I think it was Black Ops on Wii U, they ended up having to separate out the Wii controller users from the gamepad users because the Wii controller users were 10 times more accurate, and it was unfair in the matches. Like, that's how much better the Wii remote controls were in Call of Duty compared to a traditional controller. But, again, that doesn't make my top 5, but for people who love Call of Duty, like, dude, I know it's not in HD, it's not as pretty looking, but it controls the best, man, outside of PC.
Yeah,
So
PC wins for controls as far as I'm concerned.
Well, plus you have control options galore. Like, if you want to use a standard controller, you can. Eric, you got a top 5 for the Wii?
I have, right now, well, if you want to count the Galaxy games as 2, but...
Yeah, I just did that because...
Right.
Because I thought I was going to include Mad World, but I just couldn't justify it over some other stuff. I also thought about Other M. I know people hate Other M. I loved Other M, so I liked it better than the Prime games. Kill me, I know.
So you think Ocarina of Time sucks? You think Zelda 2 is one of the best games? Was best Zelda games? You think Metroid Prime is better than, or Metroid Other M is better than the Metroid Prime games?
Yep.
Going over to @NateJant on Twitter. Send us.
I never said I had good taste in games. I just know what I like.
I have his email. You can ask him for it.
Well, I know what one of your games is going to be. You're going to put Mario Kart Wii on there, right?
Obviously.
Because we played a ton of that.
Mario Kart Wii.
Yeah, Mario Kart Wii.
The Punch-Out for the Wii was absolutely fantastic.
It was a different kind of fun than the old Punch-Outs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The old guys with the...
and you have the Galaxy games.
Motion control.
Oh, yeah.
The Galaxy games. Yep. And then, of course, you got to go with your Wii Sports.
Wii Sports, okay.
Wii Sports. You got to get your bowling.
That's what made it popular. Everyone played Wii Sports. Everyone.
I'll give you a video that I have saved on Facebook. It's hilarious.
Of what?
Of Wii Tennis.
Wii Tennis? Okay.
Oh, gosh. It's hilarious. So
I forgot about Trauma Center.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That actually made me want to be a doctor. I never became one, but... we forgot about Xenoblade Chronicles?
Yeah.
Oh.
Xenoblade, yeah.
It's okay. Xenoblade Chronicles X is making my Wii U list, so it's okay.
And then take your pick.
Radiant Dawn? Oh, man.
Take your pick of the Raven Rabbits.
Oh, the Raven Rabbits games. Those were actually pretty fun.
Games.
Those were pretty fun.
Yeah.
All right. So that's going to wrap up the GameCube era. Or, sorry, the Wii era. GameCube, Wii. I don't know. Same graphic capabilities in my mind. 3DS is next. Still a current gen system, but it came out before Wii U. So, Darren, what do you got? What are your favorite 3DS games?
Guess what number 1 is?
Link Between Worlds?
Close. That's number 2.
Is it a Zelda game?
No.
No? Okay.
Come on, man.
There's so many good ones. How am I supposed to know?
Animal Crossing New Leaf, man.
How would I know that? I would never guess.
I said Animal Crossing is like, I just love.
I knew it was
going to
make your list. I didn't know it was going to be number 1.
New Leaf is just that's what I bought the 3DS for.
Okay.
I heard that was coming out, and then I was watching videos about it. It had come out in Japan at this point, so I had been watching different things about the game, but it was all in Japanese. And then I'm like,
Sure.
I need a 3DS
Sure.
now, so I bought one. Then months later, I got it on release day, and I just played it for a year, every day for a year. I played that game.
Yep.
Number 2, as I said, A Link Between Worlds, inspired by A Link to the Past. It's might be my favorite Zelda game. Maybe it's tied for my favorite Zelda game. I'm not quite sure, but it's
Sure.
definitely up there. Number 3 is Pokemon Y. I mentioned earlier that I adored Pokemon Y.
Sure.
Number 4 is Smash Brothers 3DS. It was actually my first Smash game, I'm sorry to say. I have played other Smash games since then, don't worry. But it was my introduction to the Smash Bros. Series, and I just love it. Number 5, Triforce Heroes. I love that game too. When it was revealed at E3, I was sad because everyone thought it sucked. I thought it looked amazing.
It is amazing.
They just didn't like it because it wasn't Breath of the Wild, and they wanted to see that. Or at the time, Zelda U.
Of course.
I just love it. It's an amazing game. And I still haven't beat it because it's really hard, and I need people with voice chat. So if you want to, let me know. But that's my top 5.
All right. It's funny because all three of us could play Triforce Heroes. And we're all
We should just do a live stream.
Yeah. All right. Eric.
I got
What do you got? I know you got some 3DS games.
Yeah.
You have to because you're like, do 3DS games
Yeah.
count? I'm like,
Yeah.
what? You have
Right,
3DS
right.
games.
Yes, I do have 3DS games.
All right, what we got?
Granted, most of them have been said, but,
It's okay.
Smash Brothers,
Yeah.
always good.
Okay.
Mario Kart 7 was a lot of fun.
Yep.
Actually, Triforce Heroes is probably the game
Yes.
I've actually played
Yes,
the most
come
of.
on. Pump up the
Nice.
Triforce
For,
Heroes.
for
Everyone
Zelda
hates
game.
that game. It's so good.
To be completely honest, that's probably the game I played the most for Zelda, just because I was helping you. At
Yeah,
the
help
time.
me with the walkthrough. Yep.
Yep.
Most underrated Zelda game, in my opinion.
I really
Actually, you
liked
might have played more Breath of the Wild.
it. Well, that's true.
It's gonna be close.
That is true, but I digress with that.
Breath of the Wild is the one though that you might play without me being around.
yeah,
That game's so good.
definitely.
All right. Sorry. Any excuse me on top of Breath of the Wild is
Right.
Yeah, when Breath of the Wild releases, I'm just gonna be locked up all day, every day, playing.
if
that
we don't
game.
have a podcast that week, you'll for either site, you'll know why.
I'll call. Oh yeah, I'll call in sick. I'll put in sick days.
Call
Right.
it sick.
I think all of us will. Oh shoot! I just had. Oh yeah, Pokemon X and Y. I don't remember which one I had, but
One of the two.
yep, one of the two.
Amazing
Luigi's
game.
Mansion, Dark Moon. That was fun. And I think that might
Nice.
be it.
All right, number 5 for me, Fire Emblem Awakening. It is the game that saved the Fire Emblem franchise. If it did not sell well, we would not have any more Fire Emblem games. And it ended
From
up
what I
becoming-
hear, Fates is awesome. So thank
and
you.
it ended up
Awakening.
becoming the best-selling Fire Emblem game to date. Fates might be better than it. I have not yet played it. I've heard a lot of good things, so I really want to get into playing Fates, both versions of the game. But yeah, I'm really interested to see how they approach like the story from two different angles. I really someday want to get those when they come down in price. So because it's a Nintendo game, like 30 years from now.
I don't know. It might become a Nintendo Select next
Yeah,
year.
it could be.
you never know.
That's my hope. Is a Nintendo Select. Then I can get both
You
for the
never
price
know.
of one new game.
It could be one of those rare Nintendo games that go up in price.
Oh my gosh, probably. Well, I'm hoping to see if it comes on Nintendo Select, then I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm just going through here. There's a whole bunch I saw, and now I cannot recall.
Right.
But Fire Emblem, I know for sure, was my number 5. I'm gonna put A Link Between Worlds at number 4.
It needs to go higher, man.
At the time, I made an argument that it might be the best 2D Zelda game to date, or the best like
It's not
true,
2D.
like top down Zelda game.
Okay,
Sorry.
best top down. I'll give you that.
But I'm even torn on if it is the best top down, but it is among my favorites for the top down. That's the one game like on my all time favorite Zelda game that moves around quite a lot. Just because there are times I think it's brilliant, and there's times I think other games are better than it. It's just I'm really torn on that one. Maybe if it didn't take place in the same world as Link to the Past, I might not be as torn on it because I didn't feel like they had to put as much creativity into the world.
I don't know. I thought there was a lot of creativity there. I thought they did a great job with the Link to the Past world.
I figured you were going to say that. Number 3 for me is Bravely Default. I did beat it. It reminded me that Japanese RPG games can be good. Because, in my mind, Japanese RPG games have really fallen off until I played Bravely Default. So, I'm very thankful for that game. I did not play... I think there was a sequel to it.
Bravely Second, I believe.
Yeah, I have not played that yet. I just don't have time. I got 3 kids and everything. So, I got to be a little choosy in what I play. But... yeah, I love that game. That makes it number 3. Again, just like the new Fire Emblem games, I might like the newer ones better. I don't know yet. Number 2 is Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Amazing game. I love the original Luigi's Mansion. It didn't make my list because it was a little short. Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon was like perfection. It was made by a studio out of Canada. What studio is that? They're working on some new games right now, too. Oh, it makes me mad I can't remember their name because I know they're working on some other stuff. So
it wasn't Intelligent Systems, was it?
Is it Intelligent Systems?
I'm not sure. Let me look it up.
It was
Next Level Games.
Oh yeah. It was Next Level Games.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then I want to throw like an Ace Attorney game on here, but for my taste in games, Ace Attorney games just do not make my top 5. I'm going to Triforce Heroes number 1.
Ooh.
And that's going to make people like, you put it ahead of A Link Between Worlds, and you... I'm like, yeah. I love multiplayer Zelda. Four Swords Adventures was amazing. Four Swords was amazing. Crystal Chronicles was amazing. I know it was not a Zelda game, but people didn't like it because it was a Final Fantasy game that was multiplayer, but I don't care. It was amazing. And Triforce Heroes was amazing. And I have not... Everyone talks about these bad experiences with noob players. I'm like, I don't care. It makes me feel awesome because I'm not the noob. Because when I'm playing Zelda games, I think I'm good, and then I'll watch a Twitch streamer, and they're way better than me. But when I get online with Triforce Heroes, it reminds me, yeah, I'm the pro.
Yeah,
they're the scrubs. Yeah, it sucks when the scrub wipes you because he keeps walking off the edge or keeps getting hit by stuff. But you know what's fun about that? You know what's fun about that in this game? You can pick them up, and they cannot get off you.
Yeah.
So you just pick them up and keep them away and let the other person do all the work.
You take the situation into your own hands.
Exactly. So when you have that one bad person, you just prevent them from doing anything the whole time.
And then they turn off your system and then you get booted.
No, it's not. I see. The thing is, the stages are short. I have not ever, and there might have been one stage that when I played online multiplayer, I spent more than 15 minutes on. They're really not that hard. Well, there are some challenges. I'm not going to say Triforce Heroes wasn't a challenge. It's just I knew all the stages before I did multiplayer. Like, I beat it all in single player first.
Yeah, so that
So I already knew what to do. So, like, even when players didn't know what was up, I was like, just keep tapping, come on. Keep tapping those pom-poms. Anyways, I know, and it feels weird. Like, I'm putting that, that's your best 3DS. Like, that's my favorite. Yeah. Can't help it. I'm a Zelda guy. Triforce Heroes is one of my favorite games I've played on 3DS. Right now, it is my current favorite. The new Fire Emblem games might be able to pass it up. But I don't know yet. So
I'm going to throw 2 more games out.
Oh, what do you got?
Mario and Luigi's Dream Team.
Yep.
That was a fun one. And another one that I kind of dabbled in was Monster Hunter 3.
Oh, Monster Hunter.
Yep.
Underrated series.
Yeah.
I know it's really popular in Japan, but Monster Hunter is just good stuff.
So.
Now that you mentioned Mario and Luigi, can I just throw out an honorable mention for my DS list? Bowser's Inside Story. Played a lot of that back in the day.
There we go. All right, so now we're finally caught up to Wii U. Current generation. The generation that I know Eric has probably the least amount of experience with. He's only really played at my house.
He's played Breath of the Wild, though, which is the best Wii U game ever.
Well, we can't really include it because it's not out.
I'm gonna.
That demo was so good. It's better than every game ever.
It actually was.
All right, so Eric, go first. You played so few games that probably must be every game you've ever played on Wii U.
Yeah, I got 4.
Breath of the Wild, number 1.
Number 1, hands down. Number 1 was Breath
of the Wild. I'm sorry, no. What? Correction. Breath of the Wild E3 demo.
Yes, E3 demo. Right. Yes,
because we don't
easily
actually
number 1.
Don't know if the whole game's gonna hold up to as good as that demo was. But
number 2 is Mario Kart 8.
Yep. Figures. Yep.
Oh, that's a good game.
a
Played a
very
lot of
good
that.
game.
I don't remember which Donkey Kong that you had, but
Tropical Freeze.
that one was actually fun.
Yeah.
I played some of that, and then oh gosh, what was the fourth one? I just
New Super Mario Brothers. You?
no
played that?
The
3D World.
Mario Maker.
Mario Maker.
Yeah.
Okay. Super Mario Maker.
That was pretty cool.
It's a good one. Good choice.
Yeah.
So he's got 4. What do you got for me, Darren?
All right. First up, Hyrule Warriors. Love that game. Love that game to pieces. It would have been on my 3DS list, but I mean,
It's better on 3DS.
the 3DS game is better. I will give you that, but it
Anyways,
originated
sorry.
on Wii U, so it's going to be
Forcing
on
my
Wii U.
opinions in people's minds. Go on.
You were good.
Second place is tied for Mario Maker and Mario Kart 8. I just couldn't decide between the two.
Yeah.
I played a lot of Mario Maker when it came out. I still play it sometimes. Mario
Sure.
Kart 8, I played that to death.
Sure.
Third, Xenoblade Chronicles X. I know I mentioned earlier that it was going to be
Yep.
on my list.
Yep.
Amazing open world game. Kind of reminds
It's
me of Breath of the Wild a little bit, but I know
Sure.
Breath of the Wild will be better. Hopefully, I'm hoping it looks better.
Cross your fingers.
Yeah. Number 4, Smash Brothers. As I said, I had it on my 3DS list, but I just had to include it on the Wii U again because graphics. I just love them graphics. Then Mario 3D World.
Nice.
Or Land. I always confuse them.
It's World.
World. Okay.
Land was
Mario.
on the 3DS.
Yes, that's a good game too. But 3D World on Wii U was amazing. I played the crap out of that. Probably, in my opinion, the second best 3D Mario.
Nice.
Best one is Sunshine.
So number 5 is Super Mario 3D World, as Darren just mentioned. Beat that game with my girlfriend. She loves it, and it made me love the game even more than I probably would have loved it on my own. Great multiplayer experience. Number 4 is Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. In my opinion, and this is I don't know if this is even bold because I've actually seen a lot of people with this opinion. It is the best 2D platformer I've ever played in my life.
Technically not 2D.
And that's it's basically 2D.
But it's not.
Okay, side-scrolling platformer then.
Two and a
Whatever.
half D.
It's
Yeah, I'm
not.
happy
It's
now.
not. You're not in a 3D world. So
You're not. I mean, but whatever.
It's
Side
2.5D.
I hate the
2.5D.
2.5D. Anyways, so okay, so that was my number 4, right? I said.
Yes.
So my number 3, I'm torn between. It was between Mario Kart 8 and Mario Maker, and I think I'm going to give it to Mario Kart 8. I don't think I'm going to include Mario Maker in my top 5. Super Mario Maker. The problem I have with that is that Super Mario Maker is basically a set of tools. What makes it good is the creations.
Mm-hmm.
So I just can't put a tool like it just doesn't feel like a game to me. Like even like the 3DS version that's coming out, like it doesn't feel like a game. You're just making stuff. Which again, that might go into defining what is a game. But to me, I just don't feel like I feel like it's more of a tool.
So
It's
then
like
Minecraft
Photoshop.
then. So Minecraft then.
It doesn't create images, but it gives you a tool to edit and create images. So Mario Maker doesn't it's not a game that you beat levels, but it gives you the ability to create levels to beat. Minecraft's different because
survival
mode.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, I forgot about survival mode. So
Yeah.
Minecraft, and there's a story mode to it now and stuff too. Like Mario Maker's just it's a level.
There is not a story mode that is an insult to Minecraft.
Oh God, whatever. Anyways, it does exist.
It's a separate game.
So that's my number 3. Number 2, and not talked about enough game, Bayonetta 2. It is the best action game I've ever played in my life. And now I'm not the biggest action fan, so that's not saying much, but a lot of people that are agree. So it must just be that good. And it came with Bayonetta 1. Just awesome. And I was torn between that one and the Wonderful 101. Both those games made by Platinum Games. But I loved Bayonetta 2 way more than the Wonderful 101. Number 1 is a game I'm surprised no one has mentioned yet. Splatoon.
Yep.
Oh man.
Yep.
How did we get this far without mentioning Splatoon? new IP, redefining the FPS multiplayer genre. Not necessarily doing a new idea, but an idea that's never been done this well. And doing it in a classic Nintendo way. All those Splatfests, all those tournaments, all the fun. It is still today one of the most popular online played games on the Wii U, which, again, the Wii U is not that popular, so take that for whatever you want it to mean. But still, that just an amazing game. My favorite game on the Wii U itself. I want to say the Breath of the Wild E3 demo. I'll let Eric get away with it because he doesn't own a Wii U, doesn't play a lot of Wii U games, but I just don't care, to be honest. I care. I'm looking forward to Breath of the Wild, but until I play it on NX, it might be so much better that I don't even want to put it on my Wii U list. Just like Twilight Princess on the Wii, even though I like the GameCube version better, it's kind of one of those that came out first on there. So let's see. I know they said simultaneous release, but we'll see. I just don't believe it's actually going to be a simultaneous release. Call me a cynic for not believing what Nintendo says. It's not like they've never lied to us before, right?
What? No.
The question is, do you believe NX will launch in March? That's the big
No,
deal.
I think it will. I think it will because they need it for their finances.
It won't.
I think it will. They need it for their finances really bad. They need that plus at the end of their... Because this is a really bad fiscal year for them.
That's true.
They need to show momentum right at the end of the fiscal year.
That means a rush launch, though.
It doesn't necessarily mean a rush launch.
If they're running behind schedule, which it kind of seems like they are.
Do you think they're going to delay it to December and launch next to Scorpio?
No, probably summer release.
I don't think they're going to do summer because E3 is going to give all the attention to Scorpio and whatever Sony has going on. I think they're going to stick with March because literally nothing else is going on in March.
Oh, poor Sony.
What's wrong with Sony?
No,
I love you,
said
Sony.
Whatever Sony's got going on,
Well, that's because the PlayStation Pro comes out this year.
Right.
So, so they don't have any. They shouldn't, anyways, have any hardware releases next year.
Just going on.
And PlayStation VR comes out this year too.
PlayStation Vita 2, baby.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
All right. Let me just glance at my topics. Because obviously, we kind of sprung that off of the emulator stuff for Xbox. Yeah. Really good conversation. Just first podcast. Get all our favorite Nintendo games.
All right. Let's see your top 5 favorite games for Xbox. Eric, we'll start with you.
Ooh, Xbox.
I'm just kidding.
The thing is, he could give you a top 5.
Oh, I'm sure he could.
So speaking of the Xbox, it's kind of a topic that is about all gaming here, but it's good news for Xbox and good news for Nintendo if the story wants to open, which of course it doesn't because this computer sucks. I'm totally waiting for this computer to crash and the recording not to even save.
Well,
no, that'd be fun.
So basically, I believe it was out in the UK. There was a report that came out. Oh, here it goes. It's finally loading. Okay. So the Global Web Index has conducted a huge survey of 17,990 console users and asked them how long they spend gaming each day. The Wii U and the Xbox One were way ahead of everything else in terms of how much time people spend gaming on it every single day. And so it's weird because people say, oh, the Wii U is collecting dust. Apparently not for these 18,000 people. So, on average, Xbox One users are playing their Xbox for 2 hours and 27 minutes a day. The Wii U, people are playing it for 2 hours and 26 minutes a day. So, like I said, nearly identical.
Yeah.
Right behind that is PlayStation 4 at 2 hours and 15 minutes. Then Xbox 360 at 1 hour 58. PlayStation 3 at 1 hour 55. And Nintendo Wii at 1 hour and 34 minutes.
Wow, people still play their Wii. That's amazing.
I wonder if the people that say they're playing their Wii, they're just watching Netflix.
Netflix, yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. They could very well be, maybe they like playing that Wii Sports or that Wii Fit. Gotta get that stuff going.
Oh yeah, Wii Sports are awesome.
So yeah, just really interesting that the PlayStation 4 is obviously the most popular console today in the current generation. And the Xbox One, interestingly, this is something I also read today that because the PlayStation 4 just came out with their Slim. The Xbox One came out with their Slim like a month ago. Mm-hmm. And the Xbox One Slim is destroying the PlayStation 4 Slim in sales.
So the Xbox One S had a much more
much more additional stuff. Like, if you own a PlayStation 4, there's not really a reason to get a Slim.
It also had a way better launch, or announcement at E3.
Oh.
Whereas the PlayStation Slim was just showed up one day on eBay.
It's like, here's the Slim.
Okay.
It was out in the wild before it even got announced. And then when it got announced, they're like, oh yeah, we're announcing we're announcing the Slim. And then, oh, by the way, get this PlayStation 4 Pro. 4.2 teraflops. Oh, the Scorpio already announced 6. Well, whoops. Oh, by the way, I know we pushed Blu-ray players, but we do not have 4K Blu-ray support. Oh, but the Xbox One S does. Oh, Sony. You were nailing it so good with the PlayStation 4. Now you've just screwed up.
Yep.
I think that might actually this might actually be the turning point where people are like, oh, why get the Xbox One S? Well, at least there's a year between that and the Scorpio, and not only is there a year, the Scorpio is just way better than what's going to be on the market. Mm-hmm. So I think Microsoft might turn this whole generation in their favor by the end.
And they may find a way to screw it up, though. It is Microsoft.
Unless, you know what's going to happen? The NX is going to come out, and it's just going to be like, yeah, you guys are still talking about Xbox, PlayStation.
Yeah.
Nah, we left that behind with the Wii U.
Right.
We have our own generation.
Yeah.
And we're going to release this hybrid handheld thing, crazy stuff. I don't even know if Eric knows all the rumors around NX. Well, we'll have to talk about that in a future episode. Or hopefully they just announce it next week. That would be great.
That'd be great. Please, Nintendo.
But yeah, I just thought it was interesting to bring up that apparently people who own Wii U's play games on it longer than like PlayStation 4s. Very interesting. It could be because a lot of the Wii U games are like longer play session games, I guess.
Yeah, could be.
I can think of my Xbox One. I get on, I might play. I know Xbox One actually beat Wii U, but I get on, play a game of Madden, then I might be done for the day, and that only takes me like 30 minutes.
Yeah, unless I'm over, and then
that's different.
It's like
that's
6 hours worth of Madden, but
yeah. So yeah, I just thought that was interesting, and I think I had one more topic just to briefly get to, and this is the only topic that has literally nothing to do with Nintendo, but apparently, J.J. Abrams has confirmed that a Portal movie is coming.
Yeah, I think I actually did hear that. Yeah,
and a Half-Life movie too. But
Half-Life 3 confirmed.
Well, that might be what Half-Life 3 is. It's a movie now. It's not a game.
Yeah.
But yeah, so obviously Portal and Half-Life, huge PC games. Obviously Portal and Half-Life also did later come to consoles. They're more well known for PC because Valve's a massive PC developer, Steam, etc. But J.J. Abrams, obviously, director of Star Wars and Star Trek.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which I haven't watched Star Trek movies. He told me they're really, really good, the new ones.
Oh, they're amazing. You need to watch them.
I was never into Star Trek, so I had no desire to watch them.
Neither was I, but
if these are good,
amazing.
then I'll give them a chance. But this is huge. Like, obviously, video games have slowly been coming back to the movie theater. I think we have Assassin's Creed's coming out. We just had a Warcraft movie.
Detective Pikachu movie. How are you doing?
Because that's a Pikachu. Oh my gosh.
Are you kidding me?
No. He's not joking.
I'm not joking.
But now, Portal, a game that literally makes no sense to me as a movie.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Is going to become a movie. It's a puzzle game.
Yeah.
It has story, I guess. It's just barely there. It's just what is needed to exist.
As long as it has
Half-Life, I could see, because Half-Life is very story deep. Yeah. But, man. I'm worried, like, a Portal movie. Then again, wasn't there Tetris? There's a Tetris movie being made.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started on the emoji movie.
You want to... the emoji movie. You want to talk about a movie that just has no basis for a story. A Tetris movie.
Freaking Tetris.
There was, like, that little...
And they want to make it a trilogy.
Will it do better than Pixels? Who knows?
It'll probably do better than Pixels.
There was that little clip of that quote-unquote Minesweeper movie.
Oh my god.
There's a Minesweeper movie?
Yeah. It was like a mini YouTube thing.
Yeah, YouTube thing.
It was funny as heck.
Yeah, there's... video game movies are fine. I don't have a problem with video game movies. There's been some I've liked that people don't think are any good. Mm. I really liked all the Tomb Raider ones. I thought Angelina Jolie did a really good job as Lara Croft. I like the Resident Evil movies. Thought those were really good. And
Bionicle movies, although animated, amazing movies.
Anime is still a movie's a movie, man.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, I really, really like the Sonic Boom cartoon series. but I hate the games.
I heard it was good.
And like, I love the original Sonic series. I'm torn on if I like the Sonic Boom series better.
Isn't there a Mega Man movie coming as well?
Probably.
Possibly.
There's like movies for everything. And what's weird is like video game movies have never really done like huge at the box office. So it's kind of, well, okay, correction. Most video game movies don't do huge at the box office. I know some Pokemon ones have done big.
Yeah.
But again, Pokemon's kind of that exception because like the games and the cartoon series started right around the same time.
Yeah.
Like they really had a nice plan going with that series. So it kind of it's a little bit easier to have a movie for a series like that because it's not based on the games. It's going to be based on TV series.
Well, they did say they want to be the very best, like no one ever was. So,
oh my god. To catch them is a real test.
Yeah.
To catch an audience.
Yeah,
I still have my Mew from the very first Pokemon
Train them as my cause.
Yep.
Pokemon.
Yeah,
Gotta catch
so
'em all.
I just thought it was interesting that J.J. Abrams basically announced that an announcement is coming by making the announcement
for an
himself.
announcement.
Well, see, I would love an announcement for when the NX is going to be revealed. Yeah. But this is a weird one, because we already know the NX exists. We had no idea a Portal movie was being made. And now he's just like, by the way, a Portal movie announcement is coming soon. So you just confirmed a Portal movie's happening.
Yeah.
You
So
just
that is the announcement.
You just announced it. You announced a Portal movie's happening. You didn't let them announce it with a trailer. You just said, no, it's happening, it's coming, there's going to be an announcement soon. What? What? Why? Just let them announce it. Like people are going to just be scratching their heads until they see it. Now, granted, this was kind of eked out of him in an interview that I believe was at IGN. So he might not have actually planned to leak this out. But, it's kind of one of those things that he was thinking about it because he's probably directing it now or has recently directed it or produced it or something. So it was on his mind and, they brought up some question and it just made him think of it. He said that we have a meeting coming up with Valve next week. We're very active, and I hope that there will be a Portal announcement fairly soon. So that's kind of where it all came from. And he said that the Portal and Half-Life films are very much still in development. So maybe Portal might have been teased before. I don't know. Maybe I'm overreacting, but this is the first I've heard of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, as the first commenter says, so first Star Trek, then Star Wars, now Portal.
God. I do have to say that this movie could be absolute crap. As long as it has the ending credits song in it, it's got an epic win at it right now.
What it's going to be is an hour and a half of the ending credits song on loop. And then there's going to be there's going to be the portal shot on the ground, a portal shot on the ceiling. Just be looping. It'll be looping, falling. Looping for an hour and a half. The end.
That'd be great.
That's the movie. That's the movie. It's just a total troll.
Yep.
It's a total troll, and it ends up becoming like the best attended movie of all time.
Yeah.
Because people don't believe that that's what they did, so they got to go see it for themselves. Just troll people. God, the thing is, I think just trolling people would actually work for a movie. You intentionally get people hyped for a movie, and then it's just not even bad. It's just the same thing over and over again for an hour and a half.
That would be amazing.
People would go to it just because they do not believe that that's what happened.
They'd just be on their phones all day. All day while they're in the movie theater.
Like seriously, someone could just take their phone, record a 10-second clip. That's the whole movie for an hour and a half.
Oh my god, we're gonna have to talk about this afterwards. But I come up with a great idea for a movie.
What? Just say it.
Okay, fine. You put a camera in the movie theater, and the movie is the audience. So whatever.
There we go.
Whatever the
Indie
whatever
movie
the
maker
audience
over here. Indie filmmaker going on.
Yeah, it's kind of like that one song. I can't remember what it's called.
Okay.
It's like 4 minutes and 26 seconds, where
Sure.
the song itself is the crowd.
Sure. All right, so we're going to kind of wrap podcast up there. Obviously, a little bit unstructured. We're going to try to structure it more going forward. The thing is, we're always going to release this podcast on Fridays, but our recording time is going to fluctuate a lot because his work schedule fluctuates a lot.
Always on Fridays, trademark symbol.
I have 3 kids, but we're going to try to make sure that there's always a podcast that gets out every single Friday, wherever this is located at. We're going to have a YouTube channel for it. There's a website, audio stuff. I haven't picked, at the time of this recording, I don't exactly have where everything is going to be, but on the video description, maybe I'll edit in the audio later where it's going to be all at. But I can guarantee there'll probably be a share on Zelda Informer's Facebook and Twitter, so that might be how you actually discovered us. We'll see. We do have some Nintendo Prime followers outside of Zelda Informer, so yeah. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. A little weird this week. Bunch of top fives, talking about a bunch of Nintendo games. If you liked what you had to say, you can leave a comment down below, wherever this is posted. If you have anything you'd like us to talk about, feel free to just bring it up, and I'll bring it up next week on the podcast, whenever that podcast is, because I have no idea.
I say add your own top 5.
Add your own top 5.
Yeah.
Add your own top 5. There you go. In fact, instead of giving us top 5 for each system, give us your top 5 overall for all Nintendo systems, because we didn't do that.
That'd be
we didn't
great.
do that. That might be something we can explore in the future. I also was thinking that next week I want to introduce some games to the show.
Okay.
Maybe some bets too. We'll see.
Ooh.
I like
All
bets.
Ooh.
All right.
I love bets. Oh, Eric knows how much I like bets.
Yeah.
How much I like games. How much you like finding loopholes when you lose a bet.
We are the kings of that.
Oh, king of loopholes. All right, and remember, everyone, roll or share ball for life.